I want to describe to you our nonprofit leadership certificate that we're starting in just 2 or 3 weeks here. As many of you know, for many years, I've taught leadership and worked on not for profit boards. And obviously, through Linda, our family is very dedicated to a community that serves the Quad Cities and beyond in ways that many people just don't either realize or appreciate. Because without our not for profits, our communities far less. Uh, but not for profits have been through a year of struggle, of tension through the pandemic. And it made us realize that one way we could give back is by offering a not for profit leadership certificate designed specifically for people who lead and work in this community. So let me just take a few minutes and talk about what we want to do with you in this certificate. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the context of a not-for-profit, and specifically the context during the time of the pandemic, and the pressures and the challenges and the rewards that come through leading and thriving in such a time. In so doing, we'll talk about board governance. We'll talk about the basic mechanics of how a not-for-profit operates. Um, Closely intertwined with that, Linda's going to have a session and talk about fundraising 101. Many of you are familiar with her weekly chats, whether it's about grant writing, strategic planning, or major gift fundraising, and we certainly want to have a session devoted to that. Afterwards, we want to recognize the important art of supervision. So many people think supervision's like a four-letter word that it just has to be done, but supervision doesn't need to be that way. Supervising people can be a rewarding activity where you organize their work, incentivize them, and see people really rise to a level of performance that your organization will appreciate for years to come. Finally, we're going to turn our attention to marketing and leading change. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a couple of guests come on with me and specifically talk about those functions. But first, you've got to get your name out there. Your nonprofit needs to be known by people, and that's where the marketing effort comes in. So Amy Jones is going to join me in next week or the week after and talk about marketing during a time of a pandemic, the nuts and bolts of what we need to do, how we manage our social media and Facebook or whatever you have going on. And I really look forward to that session. And finally, an old colleague of mine, Randy Richards, is going to join us for the final part of our certificate, which is leading during a time of change. And that is one that has been made more aware to us every day by living during the pandemic, that our organizations are faced with enormous amounts of change and volatility during the past year. And we want to talk about how do we lead during this time? And specifically, we want to entertain how we lead with people, not how we make people do what we want, but how we bring out the best in people to create responses to challenges that are around our organizations, in our communities every day we live and breathe. So that's what we have for you. The key thing about this, it's going to be focused on the not-for-profit, your world, your challenges, your ideas. Um, we've also made an effort to price it right, to not take a lot of your time. We know resources and time are valuable commodities for you. So please check out the links on the website at Wasson Associates. And I look forward to guiding you through this journey over the next months. And I think it'll be a wonderful effort. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Linda. She can reach out to me. Take care.